Hello everybody, Shady here from MMOBomb.com bringing you another first look, and today we're taking a look at AirMech, brought to you by Carbon Games. This game is still in closed beta. It is available on Steam and as well on the Google Chrome App Store. I feel weird saying store because it is free, but I guess it is a store that's available, and it is a free-to-play game. It's sort of an Action RTS style game. Much faster pace than the RTSs I am used to, and I am not much of an RTS player, and I gotta say, this game puts a whole new twist on that genre. I'm getting very good at that intro because this is like the 4th time I've done this video. Technical issues, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta love days like that. But I am level 5 now. You get to level 3 through the tutorial, and I've gained 2 levels since then. While attempting to and failing at this video miserably. We're going to check out the store now. The store and inventory are all pretty much located in the same place. Looks like we have 3 PvP slots and 3 PvE slots. There are co-op game modes as well as survival game modes. And then there is the player versus player, of course, game mode. It is an RTS game. You kind of expect that. Now you have an AirMech, and this is what I was talking about before, that little twist. You actually have a unit that you specifically control on the map that will do everything in the game, and I'll explain that more to you once we are in. Now you have all sorts of different units here that you can purchase. You can buy things with Kudos, which is in-game currency. The Neo is actually fairly expensive. You can buy them with currency, and this is very important. You can buy them with currency for a set amount in whatever region you are in, or you can buy them with diamonds. Now this is what we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing this sort of in-game currency that's real money, but you don't just buy things with real money. That currency option is really new, and you don't see that. I don't think I've ever seen that in a game, the ability to just buy things with just straight up money. But this is what we're used to, the sort of packs where you can purchase a set amount of diamonds. If you do it this way, spending any amount of money at the moment will give you a 5% Kudos award. This is a limited time promotion. This is probably just for the beta. This probably won't be in the final release, but I can't say for sure. But spending $10 or more on the game will grant you Silver VIP status, which you do keep with you, and will give you a 10% Kudos award at the end of every match, and then you can use that to unlock things a little bit quicker. You have the AirMech, which, as I said before, is your controllable unit. The AirMechs, I like the stats on these because there's no AirMech where you can specifically say it is all around better. These ones have more ground power, but they have less armor. They take longer to build. They have more cost to be able to build them. These ones sort of have a mix. They're very fast, but they sort of don't have very good armor with them, but they have decent damage. Just all of them have pros and cons to them. There's no real ship where you can just straight up say it's just better overall, which I really like. That's very good balancing to have. The pilots are all only unlockable with in-game Kudos, as well as some of them only become available at specific levels. So you see here, these ones give you things like fuel efficiency, but slower airspeed, but more armor. So this guy kind of travels around as a big tanky dude, but you know, doesn't travel quite as fast. You also have items which just sort of give you little benefits. This one gives you a 10% radar range. The one that I have equipped gives me a higher auto repair rate. Just little bonuses to make your, again, AirMech a little bit more personalized and suit it to your style of play. Colors, only unlockable with money, but I'm totally okay with that. Cosmetics that are money only, absolutely fine with. I'm totally okay with that. And then you can customize your loadout as well. You can have up to 8 things. And you see here you have plenty of things to pick from right now. And I'm sure that they'll be adding more as the game gets closer to release. And of course, being a free-to-play game, we tend to see constant content updates in those as well. So I'm sure we'll see even more releases post-release. I wanted to point out as well, on the main menu, they're actually doing an AirMech tournament already. Which, I mean, I've been saying about a lot of games recently, Arctic Combat, Smite, and now AirMech. There's a lot of games I would love to see go competitive, and it looks like AirMech is on the ball. They're like, hey, you know what? We know we're in beta, but we're doing tournaments already. We are on top of things. Now, you had the play menu here where you can browse PvP games. It's very, very early in the morning where I am, and even earlier on the West Coast. So there's not very many games going on right now. Plus, it's in closed beta. I'm not sure how many keys have been given out yet. We have survival mode here, which is 1 player. We also have solo mode, which is 1 versus 1 combat. This is just against a bot. You also have solo 2 versus 2 combat, where I believe it will be you and a bot against 2 other bots. You also have co-op, 3 versus 3. Now the C here, I'm not sure what that stands for actually, but this looks like it would be 3 players versus 3 bots. I think that's why it says co-op and not solo. And then you have typical PvP, where you can just jump into a straight up 3v3 player versus player match. Now we're going to start off in the solo mode. This is the most played game mode I think that we will see. I'm not sure how much the 3v3s or I believe there's even like 4v4s that you can do. I'm not sure how much game time those we'll see. But we have the build menu here. You can see all the items that we had when we were checking out our loadout slot. Clicking on these will start up a build queue. You can also press 1, 2, 3, and you can see on the left hand side here building up a queue. Now you hit the spacebar and you'll pick these up. And I can't actually go anywhere right now, but I'll drop that little turret over there. And you just hit spacebar again, and you drop these guys off wherever you think you might need them. Drop him on there. Pull up this guy. Now you'll see when I pick up a vehicle, these options down here come up. Excuse me. This is very important because I can set him to attack an enemy. I can set him to link to a certain unit. If this was a repair vehicle, maybe I could set him to repair a specific tank. Their vehicle just blew up incredibly quickly. I'm just going to set him down there for now to defend. I can set them to patrol an area, or I can set them to hold a position. So we'll just move some units up here and try and hold this. Now taking over these bases will cause creeps to spawn. Let's see if I can spot any here after we blow this guy up. Also, yes, by the way, your AirMech can shoot, and he can land on the ground and shoot things as well. So you're not stuck to just moving units around the map. You do have control and the ability to assist in battles. But these little creeps will spawn, and they will move towards the enemy base, and will actually attempt to capture these little bases along the way. This is very, very cool because the more of these that you own, the more creeps will spawn. You also use these bases to restore health, and restore this little blue bar down here, which is fuel. Let's get him up here to repair him. Good job. Congratulating my little guys on the ground. Also, if you notice a screen tearing here, I'm not sure if that screen tearing will show up in the final video, but there isn't currently a VSync option that I could find, unfortunately. So that bugs me. Some people don't even notice it. Other people, they can't stand playing with screen tearing. So I do apologize if you notice that. Again, it's beta. Not all of the graphical and gameplay glitches and whatnot will be solved right off the bat. So totally okay with that. It doesn't interrupt my playing experience. It just, I'm one of those people who notices it, and I'm like, screen tearing, why? But that's okay. We'll get a whole bunch of tanks loaded out here. We are going to do work. What are you doing? Are you trying to sneak in my back door? Can't sneak in my back door. It's my back door. Now notice that I can pick up units from any of these bases. Any of these bases that I can fly over, I can pick up a unit from it. And also notice that I can stack not as many things as I want in my queue, but I can stack quite a few things in that queue and actually go and pick them up all at once from a base and set them down wherever I want. Very, very useful. So I set all my little tanks and whatnot down there. That's going to stop any creeps from spawning. And I set my little repair truck down there as well to help them out a little bit. Now these ones, I'm just going to move them over and set them to attack this base, because you know what? I'm tired of being hounded by you, enemy bot. I want this middle base. It's going to be mine. I'm going to just spam tanks until I get it. I'm actually going to pick these tanks up and set them to defend before they get me killed. or before they get themselves killed, rather, more importantly. Oh man, and I like this RTS because the action is very fast paced, and I feel like it definitely feels like an RTS where I'm like, oh man, I have to do so many things at once, but it doesn't feel overwhelming. In a lot of RTSs, I find myself overwhelmed with having to build a base and maintain an economy and micro my units and macro my build and just do all sorts of things where I'm just like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I just get lost to the point where, like, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I have 200 units. I don't even know where half of them are on the map. I am just overall a terrible RTS player. Now, is he really? You're just gonna sneak him in there, huh? You're just gonna, yeah, I see you dropping your little infantry down there. It also reminds me, infantry are the only ones, soldiers you can see up there, are the only ones who can capture bases. Now, what he's doing, he's actually building these infantry, and I'll show you. I'll do the same thing to him. He's building these infantry and just picking them up and dragging them around the map to capture other bases. So he's trying to be a little sneaky snake, and we're not having none of it. I love the combat in this game. I absolutely love it. I really, really do. The ability to control this mech while controlling all these different units feels very, very good. Also, the fact that I'm totally owning the enemy mech feels pretty good. He's only level 3 so far. You can see power stations right here. Every power station you control lets your team recharge 20% faster. That's awesome. I also own a factory, which lets my team build 20% faster. Very, very useful as well. I'm actually going to build some jackals here. They have very low defense, but hairy high attack. Their attack is so hairy high, you wouldn't believe how hairy high it is. And, oh my. I was totally gonna say something, and I got on the topic of hair, and I'm absolutely distracted now. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Just overall, the graphic quality of the game, the combat of the game, the whole mechanics behind the combat, I find very, very easy to get into. And I also feel like if I wanted to master this game, it would definitely take a while. Because there's just so many builds you can use. There's so many different strategies you can use as far as dropping infantry where you want them or attacking very specific bases. I mean, like, over here I'm just flying around in circles, sort of. Oh man, these guys are going to try to take over this base. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. You see the little lights clicking on there as they run in the base. I can keep track of how close they are to taking it over. He tried to grab it. He came close, too. That would not have been cool. Not have been cool at all.